Okay, so 2024 is now upon us.
It is indeed, yep. We've made it.
And I just thought it'd be a really nice idea if we just maybe had a look at some upcoming releases.
Yeah, a little chat about the films we're looking forward to.
Yeah, some upcoming films and stuff, and just, what we kind of hoping to... Well, I say hoping to see, obviously we're going to go and see them.
Sure,
unless we die before then, but...
Hopefully not.
Hopefully not, yeah.
Just before we get started.
Yes.
Are you alright?
I'm very well, how are you?
I'm good. I haven't seen you for a couple of minutes.
It's been a while,
It's been a while, so I just thought I'd just check in.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm Tom.
And I'm Harry, and as we previously stated, we may sound alike, but we are not the same person.
We are not the same person.
Can confirm that.
No, we are brothers, so we...
Yeah. That's
but
probably why.
a lot of people say we sound the same.
I mean, do we? I don't know if we do.
I don't know, maybe.
I mean, maybe might have the same kind of tonality, but beyond that, I don't know. Anyway,
moving on.
Let's get to the good stuff.
Right, so
2024.
2024.
We've got some great stuff coming out this year.
Yep, I have a little list.
Each correct little list. Yeah.
So these obviously are just kind of the immediate films that stood out to me as being like, 100% I'm going to go and watch these. So first up for me was probably, I'll be honest, my most anticipated film of the year.
Okay.
It's going to be Joker, Folie à Deux.
Oh, 100%. I'm like, I will be honest, this year, for me personally, there's only really two that I really care about. That's one of them.
Yep.
There's another film that's kind of on the same scale, but what this film I think is going to be, I'm buzzing for a trailer. I don't know when we're going to get it.
Hopefully soon,
because they filmed it quite a while ago, I think.
Yeah, is it October this is coming out?
Yes.
Okay. I can't believe it's been almost 5 years
mad?
since the first.
Isn't it actually mad? Yeah.
Yeah, that is insane.
Fucking great film, though.
Yeah, but I'm super excited about this. Yeah, I mean, I say I'm not a huge fan of musicals, but I know this is going to be like a more of a musical take, like the first movie. But obviously, music played a big part in the first film.
It does, and I think this film is very in keeping. I think it actually makes perfect sense to have not only Harley Quinn, but have her played by Lady Gaga to turn it.
Brilliant, perfect casting.
Already, like you're onto a win. But I think for it to be a musical with that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I'm
because
very
I can
intrigued.
see it, because I can see the musical elements. I already might be. We might listen back to this after October, and I might have been way off the mark. But I think in my head at the moment, I'm imagining the relationship he'll have with Harley will be all in his head.
Yeah. But
in his head, he kind of has this magical, musical life with her, which is where all of this musical stuff comes from. It's just all in his head. I kind of love the idea of that.
That's kind of what I think. I think it's going to be like, he'll have the real life stuff. I think, he'll, well, maybe he may not even be with Harley in the film. Like because I think she's supposed to be in this. She's not going to be like a psychiatrist or a doctor. She's like
she's
an inmate. I think,
she is. Yeah.
So maybe they do genuinely have like a connection in the film and stuff. They actually are an item or whatever. But I think, a lot of the musical side of it and stuff is going to be in his head. And I think it's going to be like this, almost like this alternate reality that he's like living in.
That'd be a really great twist, actually, if in the film she is a psychiatrist, or we think she is, and then he then starts to have this relationship with her, and it's not actually until the end of the film you find out that not only was this not real, but she is an inmate.
Yeah.
She's actually not a psychiatrist.
That would be really cool.
That'd be quite a cool twist. We may have just spoiled that for you there.
Well, I think, because they've already said she's an inmate.
They've already said it. But yeah,
I think she's going to be perfect because I'll be honest, I like Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, but I find her a little bit too. She's a bit too gimmicky for me.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
It's like she's just kind of there to sell Halloween costumes and just so that people can put funny things on a T-shirt or whatever. I guess they've tried to make her like the Deadpool. Well, Harley Quinn kind of is the Deadpool of the DC universe, but yeah, I don't know. There's something about Margot Robbie. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think she's
really good.
I think she's really good.
She is great.
But there's just something about her that I sometimes, like Birds of Prey. Like I really didn't like that film.
I loved it.
But like both Suicide Squad films, she was the best part of those films. So.
Definitely. And I'm not the biggest fan of the Suicide Squad, and I think kind of one of the redeeming qualities of that film is her. So bless you. That's kind of one of the best parts about it, and I do think without her, I don't know if I'd have enjoyed that film that much. So there are some good. She is great, but I do sort of, as you say, she's quite gimmicky. Bless you again. And I am looking forward to seeing what Lady Gaga brings to it because I think she's a very underrated actress, and I think obviously she's a phenomenal singer. So I think already you're onto something quite.
Yeah, I'm very intrigued.
And also I think she's an actress. She doesn't strike me as someone that just takes a job I get the impression that she's like she like she.
I think she's quite fussy about the roles that she takes on.
She's picked it for a reason, which I think is always a good sign.
Yeah,
for an
definitely.
actor, depending on.
But I think the success of the first movie, I think, you know.
Yeah, well, great fucking film that is.
Oh, brilliant!
Honestly, amazing.
You know, but yeah, I mean, it basically is just Taxi Driver, but with DC characters. But you know what?
Yeah, that works.
I'm fucking all about that. So.
And why I love it, just also why I love the idea of this new film being a musical, is because it's doing something that a lot of comic book films aren't doing at the moment. Is it's changing the genre a bit.
Yeah.
You're not getting but this new Joker film and the first Joker film, and even the Batman as well. Those three films are, I think, definitions of like what it is to like. You're not just making a normal fantasy like adventure popcorn film, action film. You're doing something different with the genre, which I think so many more Marvel films and DC films should be doing.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it feels like it's like
that's why it's exciting, because they're doing something different.
Yeah, yeah. It's kind of like how the MCU used to be, where like you'd have like, you know, The Winter Soldier is a political thriller. Yeah. Ant-Man is a heist movie.
Yeah,
they all the movies were, you know, specific genre movies, and I think that's what they kind of do with this Joker.
And that's why they work. I think that's why that's why they work.
Yeah,
because they're so different.
So next up for me, is it's kind of a weird title. I'm still not really sure how to actually say this, but Godzilla X Kong or Godzilla times Kong.
Yeah,
I don't know what you say.
Whatever it is.
New Empire.
Yep.
Yeah,
that's great.
That's
cool.
I mean, I love my kaiju monster movies and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah,
it looks fun.
Looks awesome. I love what Legendary have done with this like kind of franchise. I think next to be honest, I think this is like an underrated shared universe, really, because
it is. Yeah,
it's kind of like a quiet, like it's that, you know, these movies, you know, they're very popular movies, and you know they you know, people seem to really enjoy them.
They're all
but
good.
No one really talks about them all that much.
No, I think given how many like Hollywood movie franchises after the MCU have tried to replicate franchises, I don't think there's many that have done well or as well as what Legendary have done with the monster movies.
The Monsterverse, yeah.
I'm not a big fan of every single one of them, but I do think they are at least good films.
Yeah,
Kong Skull Island is my favourite out of all of them.
Kong Skull Island is,
I love that film.
That's an underrated film. I think
they are all good films.
Definitely.
Which, you can't say for a lot of movie franchises.
I think what they've done well is they've stuck to, they know that Godzilla and Kong are the two most recognisable ones, so they've just kind of built the universe around those two, which I'm
fine with.
Which I'm totally
I don't
fine
mind
with
that. Yeah,
I think that's really cool.
And I think the films, just have to say visually, they are like works of art.
Oh yeah, like King of the Monsters especially. There's some great. Because they introduced Mothra.
Yeah. Oh my god. Yeah.
And there's some beautiful. Every still of that, and every like frame and cell of that movie could be a poster. Like, I love that. So it's brilliant.
100%.
But the trailer looked really cool for this, and there's the. To be honest, it kind of looks like this kind of generic kind of, you know, kind of sort of typical kind of monster movie thing. But then there's that one shot where they just Godzilla and Kong just both kind of like come up from the ground and charge towards it, and
love it.
I was literally like just cheering, and I was loving that. I think I sent it. I think as soon as I watched it, I sent it straight to you. I was like, "What's this fucking trailer?" I'm very easily pleased when it comes to these sorts of movies. I haven't seen the Monarch series yet. I've heard really good things about that.
I've heard good stuff about that. Yeah, I've not seen it myself. I don't know what streaming platform it's on, actually. I don't know if it's like Paramount, maybe.
I don't know. Maybe. I'm not sure, but I'll definitely check that out.
Try and find that. Yeah.
Because obviously they're branching into TV stuff as well as their shared universe. So it's definitely growing, and I'm glad they're still making movies, because I think they're really good.
Yeah.
So it's cool.
Yeah, and that's been going. Was it 10 years this year that the first Godzilla came out?
Yeah.
So it's been going for a decade, and it's going strong, I think.
Definitely,
I think there's some good stuff in there.
Yeah.
What other kind of characters could they do? Do you know? I can't really, to be honest. I'm not too familiar with that.
To be honest, I would like. I would like to see I can't even actually remember. Did Mothra die in?
I actually don't know.
King of the Monsters. I can't remember, to be honest. But yeah, there's other characters they can do anyway.
I would happily let them. I'd happily like to see another separate film with Kong and Godzilla. Do you think with Kong, just quickly, do you think they'll ever tell his actual story, his actual main story, in these films? Do you think? I guess that would have to be his last story, I guess.
Yeah, I think, because the thing about that is obviously everyone knows about Kong now, because obviously
that's true.
He's already kind of.
That's a good point.
So I don't know if we would get that, but yeah, I think this is just a almost like
it's its own thing. Really.
Yeah, it's its own thing. That's like a separate universe, isn't it? Like he's just in this universe. He's
he's
like
well
a
known.
protector of the earth alongside Godzilla.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm
Great.
very excited for that.
Very
So
excited
that'll be fun.
I don't know when it's out. Sometime over the spring or summer, I'd imagine.
Yeah. So I think it's maybe like April, May time, I think.
Cool.
I don't know.
Even sooner.
I'm just guessing. I have fucking no idea. But look, whenever it
It
comes
looks
out,
good.
we'll be there. So
Yeah, that's cool.
watch it. So I'm guessing this is probably your second most anticipated film of the year, Deadpool 3.
Good guess. It is Deadpool 3. Fucking Hugh Jackman's in it as Wolverine.
Hugh Jackman's in it, yeah.
Hugh
What
Jackman's in
more
it.
do you need to know?
You've got there was a rumor, and I think this is
Lot of
looking pretty
rumours.
good. There's a lot of rumors about who's in this film and who isn't in this film. Ian McKellen is supposedly in it.
Okay.
Patrick Stewart is supposedly in it.
Yep.
There are a few leaked things out there about who's in it. I don't necessarily want to spoil those if you don't want to know. But there's a few other people in it.
I think we're in for a treat with this film.
I think it's being hailed as the Far From Home, No Way Home of the Fox universe.
Right.
In that we're just going to get
That's really cool.
everything. And also it's like that alone just sounds incredible.
Yeah.
But I love the idea that we're just going to get Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds, because famously they have a great relationship anyway.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to just seeing the kind of jokes that that Deadpool's going to just chuck at Wolverine. Are they just going to go over Wolverine's head because he's going to have no idea?
Yeah, exactly.
And Deadpool's just going to be constantly making jokes about him.
Well, it's kind of because this is like
I'm
the
looking forward to
first
that.
kind of like MCU Deadpool. You know, like he's
Yeah.
officially,
Oh,
like, as in
yeah,
like
yeah.
you know, he's officially in the MCU now.
Yeah.
And I love that this is going to be like a celebration of those Fox movies. You know,
Because they are great.
yeah, they're great.
They're great
They're
films.
great films.
Yeah, they are really good
and,
films.
You know, and all the stuff that kind of led us to the MCU, because you know all those early 2000s films that we had.
We wouldn't
back
have
in
the
the day.
MCU without
Yeah,
it.
we wouldn't have the MCU without those. So yeah, so I think this will be a real celebration of those, which I'm really excited about. And yeah, this is gonna be so like there's so many cool like jokes and things that I can see them putting in, and it's
There might be some Disney jokes.
I hope there's some Disney jokes. I really
think there
hope,
will be.
because I know Family Guy are making Disney jokes
They are.
a lot now. So yeah, so I can only imagine what Ryan Reynolds and Deadpool have got coming up. Another Marvel movie.
Mm-hmm.
In the Sony Spider-Man
Yeah.
sort of.
Yeah, we've got quite a few this
Verse.
year, haven't we?
There's a couple. So the next two are going to be those. So
We've actually got 3, I believe.
is there 3?
I believe there is, yeah.
Okay. Well, I've only got 2, so you can surprise
Fill
me
you
with
in on
it.
the other one. I actually didn't realise it was coming out this year until the other day.
Okay.
So it might be quite... I can start with that, or you
Yeah,
can...
go on.
I believe in November, we've got Venom 3.
Is
which
it?
I
this
didn't
year?
realise it was coming out this year.
I thought that was next year.
So did I. And I
Okay.
Googled it, and it does say 2024.
Okay. Until they change the.
Until they change
until
it.
it gets
Probably
delayed. So
will.
as of the making this video,
Currently this year.
yeah,
October,
it's currently
November
this
time.
year. So I've got to be honest, I am interested in Venom 3, but if it's going to be more of the same, because the thing with those movies, I mean, I love Venom as a character, obviously, but his movies have just been really lackluster for the most part, I think.
I wouldn't have killed off Carnage for a
No,
start.
definitely not.
Don't kill Carnage.
And it's supposed to be like, and not be funny, like in like the real time of the movie. I mean, he literally was around for like one night. He broke out, and then the same night he died. So he like a matter of hours that he was there actually causing any carnage.
Yeah. Nothing, no. Okay.
And I just think honestly, it's like if you're not going to put Spider-Man in it, because apparently there's a rumor that it's going to be Eddie Brock is going to be like sort of mentoring or protecting a 10-year-old Peter Parker.
What? Really?
Yeah, apparently that's what I've heard.
Oh.
And I was just like, I don't want that. I just
No.
literally call it Venom. Along Came a Spider.
Yeah.
That's the fucking title right there.
Cast fucking Andrew Garfield.
Just put Andrew Garfield needs to be in these movies. His Spider-Man not only fits this universe the best, but he wants to fight his alien.
He hasn't fought an alien yet.
Let him fight his
Let
alien.
him fight his alien. And it tonally, these films are so they're so similar to the Amazing Spider-Man universe. It's actually surprising that Marvel of Sony haven't come out and said actually
honestly,
they are linked.
It genuinely baffles me that since No Way Home they haven't announced the Amazing Spider-Man 3 or Spider-Man 4 with Tobey Maguire. Come on, you that's a license to print money. Just
I'm
make
surprised
it
they
happen.
haven't done it. And it's not as though it's just one fan wants it. I think a lot of people want that.
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, I just honestly baffled me. Like, just it should
surprising.
just be like a no-brainer to do that. Like, that's obviously what fans want, but instead we're getting Morbius and
Yeah, which I liked Morbius.
It was all right.
But I still don't know why.
I just think, but again, like with this Sinister Six thing, like putting Venom in it, like
Venom's
don't
not
put
a
Venom in the
Sinister
Sinister Six.
Don't
He's
do
not a Sinister Six character. But
Yeah.
anyway, I could be wrong. I hope I'm wrong. I hope
It might be
Spider-Man's
alright.
in it.
It might be good.
I hope it's good. I'm not holding out any hope, to be honest, but I'll wait for the trailer.
Where we left him, some of the symbiote was left in the MCU, so
Yeah,
it will be interesting to see if that gets picked up.
I think Secret Wars is.
Do you think Secret
because
Wars
that's when he got
gets the black suit in the
comics. I think that's which would be really cool actually.
It would make sense, wouldn't it?
And to be honest, I'd like to see him just do have the classic suit, like the red and blue suit, a bit longer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I don't want him to get because I think I don't know if it was a Spectacular Spider-Man, like the cartoon, or it might have been, I don't know, I can't remember, it was that Ultimate Spider-Man, but he gets the black suit like pretty early on.
Does he?
In that, I think it's like, yeah, and I just kind of, even to be fair, even in the animated series, the 90s animated series,
Yeah.
he gets
Is it in the first series he gets it?
I think it's the first series,
Is
yeah.
it?
I just think I think for the most part, as I say, this is probably a separate video, but I think the MCU, I don't think they've done Spider-Man totally right for the most part, but
No.
one thing I do appreciate is that they're not rushing to give him the black suit, and they
They've
seem to
told
be
a different story.
Yeah, they're telling a different story, so I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
So kind of along the same lines of the Sony Spider-Man verse, next up is Madam Web.
Yeah, I think it looks fine.
I
It
think
looks fine. Again, a bit like all of these Sony films, I don't know how well they will work without Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I do think, even though I don't really like the Venom films, I do think they have found a way to work without Spider-Man.
Yeah,
I think the inclusion of him is needed, but I would say
100%.
that especially that first Venom film, I don't think it's a great film, but I do think
it works.
I think it works.
Yeah. I think. I mean, I was really intrigued by this movie when it was announced, and I thought the trailer actually looked really good.
looks decent. Yeah.
I still think it looks like a really good film, and I like the fact they're going for this like kind of Terminator style with it, and also but the thing is, this movie makes sense that Spider-Man's not in it because it's set in the early 2000s.
Exactly.
So, and where so Emma Roberts is playing Spider-Man's mum, I think.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So I guess she's going to either be pregnant with him, or he's just not going to be even about yet. He's just a twinkle in their eye at this point.
In their eye. Isn't Uncle Ben supposed to be in it as well?
I think I can't remember the guy who's playing him, but he's like
he's in the trailer.
He's like the paramedic, I think, with her, who works with her. I think that's Uncle Ben.
It's quite a young Uncle Ben, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean that like kind of, at least they're world building a little bit. At least that's at least we're finally getting some characters
that's cool.
are part of the Spider-Man kind of lore and everything, like the more kind of like central characters.
If they did link it, do you think it would be linked to Tom's Spider-Man? Or do you think
I think so. I think it makes sense, like within the timeline. I just think, I mean, Andrew's my favorite Spider-Man, and I'm always going to like want to see more from that universe. But yeah, it does. I think this movie's going to be set in like 2003.
Okay.
So I think 2002, 2003. I think that's what I've read. So yeah, it wouldn't make sense for Andrew's Spider-Man to not be born then, because he would be like,
about. But then technically, Tom's Peter Parker was in Iron Man 2. And I think he was supposed to be about 8 or 9,
which would be right, because
maybe 10. Maybe.
Is because when is that film?
I think it is set in 2010.
So that would be about right
roughly,
then. So yeah,
roughly.
Okay, yeah. As I say, I'm not against that, to be honest. I mean, if you want to, put Tom Holland Spider-Man, yeah, why not?
Yeah.
But yeah,
I think overall, I think it could be.
It could be fun.
And you've got some Spider Women in there as well.
Yeah, I think their costumes are great. A lot of people said it looks like kind of CW stuff.
It's a bit Green Lantern-y for me. I think they've just CGI'd it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
There's the one. Yeah, there's a couple that I really like the look of them though. I think the villain looks a bit CW-tastic, but
yeah, tastic. It looks,
but yeah,
not great.
But yeah, I'm intrigued by this film. I think it could be fun.
Yeah, and it's only out next month as well.
Exactly. Yeah. So that'd be cool. Soon. Next up, Kraven the Hunter.
Yeah, going to be honest, I think of all the films they've announced, I think this is probably the one that I think will work.
Yeah.
The most on its own, I think.
Yeah,
I think this is a cool idea.
Yeah, I think it's a good. The only thing is, I don't like that. Like Russell Crowe. Well, first of all, Russell Crowe back in the day. Yeah. I think in this like the Raimi universe would have been a perfect
amazing
Kraven.
Yeah.
He's got the voice down and the look.
Yeah.
I don't really like that Aaron Taylor Johnson doesn't have that voice.
No, he's doing his. Is he doing an American accent?
He's just kind of doing his normal kind of American accent,
or
which
British. Yeah,
because I kind of expect I would probably do like a Quicksilver voice that he did for that. 'Cause that was like Russian and whatever. But yeah, as I say, I was a little bit disappointed that
Sokovian, I believe.
Oh, sorry, yeah, quite right. Yeah, Sokovia. But of course, Sokovia is not actually a real place, Harry. So
it's not a real place?
It's not a real place.
Every day's a school day.
It's for you.
Yeah, it is for me. Yeah.
But yeah, so I think I do think it'll be good.
I think it'll be interesting. Yeah, I don't know who is Russell Crowe the villain?
Well, that's it. So Russell Crowe, I think, is a villain. But what's interesting about this film is I think this film is going to really set up the Sinister Six, or at least on paper it does.
I think so.
Because obviously his brother is the Chameleon.
Yeah.
And Rhino's in this film as well.
Yes. Oh my God. Yeah.
So I'm very intrigued to see.
Maybe Rhino's the villain. Maybe.
Possibly. I think he'll be like Muscle. I think he'll be like a sort of a henchman. But because I don't think Rhino's ever been a main villain in any story. But
no. Cool villain though.
He's a cool villain. But I'm excited and the fact that Sony are having another swing at him as well.
Yeah.
And I like that this version is going to be like a sort of a cross species, genetically enhanced. He's kind of
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm down for that. I think this will be fun and yeah.
And actually, with just what you said about the Sinister Six, there was a rumor the other day. I don't know if you actually saw this that Sony are apparently interested in doing this was rumored a long time ago, but it's cropped up again. They're rumored to be doing a Doc Ock movie, solo film.
I did see this.
And a Mysterio film. Which I think if they do the Sinister Six, I would be all up for this.
Yeah, I mean,
I think that would work.
Yeah,
Mysterio film would be interesting. Mysterio is my favourite Marvel villain.
Mysterio could be really cool.
I think that could be like a bit of like a Prestige type.
Thing. That would be cool. Brilliant. Yeah,
I'd love to see something like that.
I'd love to see that. I think it'd be cool for like a Doc Ock. I can see that being like a sort of a revenge type film where he's like this kind of nerdy guy who is trying to sort of
get his ideas out there.
Yeah, get his ideas out there and just try and make something of himself and maybe someone steals his ideas or something.
Yeah.
Or he ends up maybe, I don't know, losing his job or something like that.
Yeah.
And then obviously this horrible accident happens, and then he kind of goes on this.
I'd love that.
Kind of, sort of as like a revenge thing to, the people that, because maybe like, maybe some other scientists at Oscorp or wherever it happens to be.
Smythe might be quite cool.
Smythe,
I'd love to see Doc Ock fight some spider slayers.
That would be cool. Maybe the accident, that attaches the tentacles, to him, like, maybe that's like actually a bit like in the Amazing Spider-Man movies where like a lot of those villains are just kind of, they're created on purpose. They're like Oscorp accidents.
Yeah, I'd love that.
With question marks because it's actually like, they know what they're doing. They're basically they choose subjects to kind of experiment on, and
I'd love that.
So I think that could be quite fun.
It'd be a lot of fun. Yeah.
So next up is Ghostbusters: Frozen Empire.
Yeah, I've actually never seen I've never seen a Ghostbusters film. I've seen the 2016 remake. It's the only film I'm familiar with.
Not a great place to start, I'll be honest, Harry.
Yeah, but I did enjoy it. I thought it was fun.
You enjoyed it. It's all right.
Chris
Hemsworth is great.
Yeah, he's great. I should really watch the original ones, and I think I probably would like the last one with Paul Rudd.
I've got to be honest. So we had a bit of a sort of a Ghostbusters sort of binge sesh a few months ago, and they're great films. Like the original two, I actually think the second one is quite an underrated film.
Okay,
that's actually really funny, but yeah, obviously the original's a classic, and Ghostbusters Afterlife.
Yeah,
which
haven't seen.
Definitely worth checking out. That's really, really good.
Recommend it. Yeah.
As far as like legacy sequels go, that's a really good one. Because obviously you got the original cast in there as well. Towards the end, obviously they're going to be returning for this, and also all the new characters. Paul Rudd and is a perfect choice to be. Well, he's just great in everything.
I think he fits that universe quite well, doesn't he? That kind of fun sort of. Almost like adult being a kid kind of thing.
Definitely, and
fits, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think ever since Stranger Things season 2, when they had that little Ghostbusters, like when they like Halloween costume, I think it was inevitable that one of those kids was going to be in a Ghostbusters sequel at some point.
Definitely, only makes sense.
Yeah, so I'm really excited for that, and I'm glad they're finally moving away from Gozer as a villain as well. They're actually doing an all new villain, it looks like, so
could be fun.
I'm very, very excited for that.
Yeah, no, the trailer looks good. I'm optimistic about it.
He is. So next up, I've got Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, again, like another franchise I just haven't delved into. I've seen. Now, what was the first one of this? Was it Rise of the Planet of the Apes? Is that what it's called?
Yeah, so Rise of the Planet of the Apes.
I've seen that one.
Yeah,
I
which is
loved it.
really good film. And then you've got the two Matt Reeves films.
Yeah.
So you've got Dawn of the Planet of the Apes and then War for the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, I need to watch
War
them.
of the Planet of the Apes.
Yeah, I need to watch that or them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that first
It's
one, thought it was brilliant.
Brilliant trilogy.
Yeah,
yeah.
I'd
And
like them.
what's really cool, so that's like the original. So basically, the sort of, I'll call it the Matt Reeves trilogy, even though you did two of them. That's kind of like where you should start from.
Okay, yeah.
And then these new films are going to be, or this new one is going to be set, I think, 300 years after that.
Okay, right,
that trilogy ends.
Yeah.
Because the original films, obviously, they look kind of dated and they look older, but they're actually set in the future.
Are they?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
So the order to watch them will be the, Rise of the Planet of the Apes, all those films, then this new one, and then the original ones.
Cool. Okay.
So you're actually in a good place. Yeah.
Kind of good. I've kind of got a good jumping on
That's
point
it.
then.
That's it. So they're kind of bridging that gap between the two trilogies now. It's a bit like kind of what they've done. If you imagine, like with Star Wars, for example, imagine if they started with the sequel trilogy.
Yeah.
Then they did the prequels, and now we're getting the original trilogy.
Okay. Yeah,
that's kind of the order that they're doing it.
Okay. Cool.
So that's cool. Speaking of Star Wars, a Star Wars, should we say, inspires movie is up next. So Rebel Moon 2 or Part 2, The Scargiver.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first one was shit, so
yeah, I'm not
see where this goes.
Holding out much hope for this, but I'll check it out.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably won't. To be honest,
You'll probably that's fine.
I'll probably think about it and then realise I need to watch paint dry and then just go.
Yeah,
I'll
just
do that instead.
Yeah, as I say, I'm not. The first movie didn't exactly set my world on fire, so I'll watch this with low expectations, and then
might be alright.
Yeah, it might be alright. As MJ says, expect to be disappointed, and then you'll
never be disappointed.
So
yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so yeah, we'll see with that one. I've got Beetlejuice 2.
Okay, I haven't seen the first one. Believe it or not.
I've seen it once a few years ago.
Any good?
Yeah, I liked it.
Right.
Yeah,
it's good. Michael Keaton.
It's a very Tim Burton film.
Okay,
it's like in the late 80s. I think this is the movie he did just before Batman.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's probably what I'd imagine. That's probably what got Michael Keaton on the radar. I'd imagine. For Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, it's a fun film.
Yeah,
good cast and that.
Yeah.
And yeah,
first one looks alright. Probably. Yeah, I should watch it. Like that and Ghostbusters are like two 80s films I just haven't delved into.
Definitely watch those.
Give them a go. Yeah.
There is actually a new film on this list I'll get to in a minute.
Yeah.
Which is very 80s inspired. So it's kind of in that vein of like sort of Beetlejuice and that kind of thing. That kind of style, which
cool.
But yeah, Beetlejuice 2, you say it's got Winona Ryder's going to be in this one again. She's in the original as well.
The first one, right?
And Jenna Ortega is in it. I think she's playing her daughter. I think.
Yeah.
And I mean, obviously Jenna Ortega's in it because anything spooky or creepy. I mean, she is the go-to.
She does it.
Girl now, and she's fucking great in it.
Wednesday's great. Yeah, Wednesday's really good. She's in Wednesday, isn't she?
She is Wednesday. Yeah.
Yeah. It's really good. Yeah.
Actually, I think season 2 of that is this year, isn't it?
I think it is.
Well, there you go.
We can do some TV series is in it as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. So that's very high on my list. I'm very intrigued by that movie.
Fun, yeah.
I'm looking forward to the first trailer.
Yeah.
Next one up is a kind of a spy thriller.
Yeah.
Which has some cats in it.
Has some cats in it. At least a cat.
A cat, which is always a selling point for me.
Yeah. Argyle.
I
think it looks really fun.
Yeah.
It's Matthew Vaughn, so I'm a big love his films.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Yeah. I think. I'm happy with James Gunn doing a Superman movie, but I think if anyone else should do a Superman movie, it's Matthew Vaughn.
Yeah, or Brad Bird.
Yeah.
But it looks really fun. Like it's a really unique idea. I think from the trailer I've seen the trailer quite a few times. I think it looks cool. So I get the impression it's basically just a writer that's written about like an action hero, and I don't know if she goes on like an adventure and meets him, or whether
I think she's like funny enough. Obviously, talking about Superman, obviously Henry Cavill's in this as well.
He is indeed, yeah.
Yeah. So
great cast, I have to say. Some really good people in this.
Definitely,
film. A lot of great people.
Yeah. So really strong cast. Bryce Dallas Howard.
Yeah.
And
I think Samuel L. Jackson's in it.
Sam, of course, he is.
He's
in everything.
Who else is in it? Sam Rockwell's in it.
Sam Rockwell's in it. Yeah. John Cena's in it.
John Cena is in it. Dua Lipa, I think. Is it?
Yeah, she's in it. Yeah, so it's
They're
a
all in
solid
it. They're all in
cast.
it.
But
They're
yeah,
all-
so if I think this is basically, she's obviously like a writer. She
Yeah.
writes these kind of things, and then she
Yeah.
ends up on an actual mission herself.
That sounds
And
great.
apparently, she's going to actually meet the real Argyle, which
Yeah.
I don't even know if
we
she.
don't. Yeah, we
I
don't,
don't know if
who
she
that is,
even
do we?
knows that she's actually been writing about a real person.
Yeah, I think it's a great idea for a film.
It's a great idea, and I think if you like Kingsman,
Yeah.
then you're going to be in for a treat with
I was
this.
going to say the action looks very Kingsman-esque, doesn't it?
Definitely,
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it'll be a fun film. I don't
Yeah.
know if it's based on a book. I don't know if it is actually based on anything, but if it's just an original idea. But
Yeah,
No, it
I'm
looks
not
fun.
sure. To be
it
honest.
looks fun.
So diving into the more kind of horror side of things, it's obviously, I guess, more my
Yeah, it's kind of a little bit out of my wheelhouse.
more my
I
kind
think.
of area of expertise. So I've put a question mark next to this one because technically this movie is coming out in 2024 for some countries, but not here in the UK. We're gonna have to wait until New Year's Day 2025. But that's Nosferatu,
It's a big one for you, isn't it?
huge one for me.
Yeah.
I've always been fascinated with Nosferatu, like the original movie, ever since he popped up in SpongeBob.
Yeah,
And I saw him as a kid. I was like, what the hell is that?
scared the hell out of me. It still scares me now. I'm going to be
Yeah.
honest. Yeah, yeah, and
yeah.
that SpongeBob scene. Yeah,
Yeah. I love the original movie.
Yeah.
And I've even got a Count Orlok tattoo that shows you how much of a nerd for this movie I am. Robert Eggers is directing this, who did The Lighthouse
Okay. Yeah. Oh,
and
okay.
like The Northman and
Yeah,
things
yeah.
like. So and I really respect him as a filmmaker because he clearly has a appreciation for those kind of German expressionist movies and that
sort of
old school
creepy,
style.
macabre kind of.
Yeah.
Something a bit different. Yeah.
And this, everything about this movie, I'm fucking super excited about. Like
say the cast alone is.
Bill Skarsgård's playing Count Orlok. I mean, that's perfect right there.
Yeah.
Nicholas Hoult is in it.
Nicholas Hoult is in it. Willem Dafoe is in
Willem
it.
Dafoe is in it, which ironically he was in a film where he actually plays Max Schreck.
Oh yes.
This is about, I think this was just before he did Spider-Man, the first one,
Yeah.
and he plays like a fictional version of Max Schreck. Because at the time they were making the original movie,
Yeah.
a lot of people actually thought Max Schreck was an actual vampire
Oh, did they?
because I think he was kind of quite method,
Sure. Yeah.
and which at the time I don't,
Probably
and
not.
and obviously when the film came out, like no one had ever really seen anything like it before.
Yeah.
So it's kind of about. So the film is actually about. I can't remember what it's going to bug me now what the film's actually called, but it's a really good film if John Malkovich is in it and,
Okay. Yeah.
and stuff. So yeah, it's a really good film. But yeah, he basically plays Max Schreck
Yeah.
in that, and he's actually like a vampire. Yeah,
Amazing.
it's a cool
Oh,
film. So it's
cool.
cool that he's in this
Yeah.
as well.
Cool.
But yeah, everything about
Looks
this.
fantastic. Yeah. We've not seen a trailer yet, but there's been a few little images here and there.
Yeah, and it looks.
That looks creepy.
It's really
Looks
good.
good.
And I
It's
think
dark.
Robert Eggers said as well that he's actually going to make this, like he's basically trying to purposely make a very gothic, like creepy,
Amazing.
horror film. So
Yeah.
very much akin to that
Feeling it.
original
No, I'm ready for that. Yeah.
masterpiece.
Sounds cool.
Next one for me is The First Omen. So this is
Okay.
obviously part of the Omen films, which are a classic horror
I've not
franchise.
seen them. Yeah, I've not seen them.
Really good. That's what like in like Only Fools and Horses. That's what the whole thing with Rodney and Damien is all about.
Oh, okay,
It's from
right.
the
Is that
Omen.
where that comes from?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Because the kid in it is called Damien.
Right, okay.
But yeah, like this just looks like a solid entry in that. And Bill Nighy is in this one. He's played this kind of really creepy kind of priest
Yep.
character. And there's a trailer at the minute, and it's really great because it actually doesn't really give much away,
Oh,
which
cool.
I quite like
Yeah.
that actually.
Quite rare in this day.
So I'm excited for that
Yeah,
one.
cool.
Next up, or kind of the last one on my list. I know you've got another one
Yes.
to talk about.
Yeah.
But it's a movie that I think looks really great actually.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, just going back to something we were talking about in our worst of 2023 video.
Yeah.
I was talking about how much I think Catherine Newton isn't such a great actress and stuff.
Okay, yeah.
She's got this new film coming out called Lisa Frankenstein.
I have seen a trailer for this. Yeah.
I think it looks amazing.
It looks fun.
and I think she looks really good.
looks really
I think
cool.
I think this might be the movie that kind of I might change my mind on her as an
Yeah,
actor.
it looks fun. Yeah.
This looks like so much fun. It looks like there's a movie of mine that I really like called Frankenhooker, which is it looks like an 80s film. I think it actually came out in 1990,
Mhm.
and it's basically about this guy who's like a scientist, and he is basically trying to his girlfriend dies basically in a gardening accident.
Right.
It's a comedy film.
Yeah.
And he basically kind of tries to bring her back to life by getting like all the body parts. He basically goes and kills a load of like prostitutes and stuff.
Yeah.
And he kind of tries to bring her back to life. It's really funny.
Yeah.
It's a really good film.
Sounds funny.
I was
Yeah.
getting some Frankenhooker vibes from this.
Yeah, cool.
I love the 80s vibe of it. And
Yeah. Yeah. It looks great. No, it does look fun. I don't know when it's out. I presume.
I think it's just before Valentine's Day.
Is it?
I think.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know if that's the same in the UK, but yeah,
It looks like a lot of fun. It looks like a lot of fun. Yeah, no, it's a really great.
Yeah, it's
solid
cool.
list there,
And Cole Sprouse is in it as well.
Is he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
From Sweet Life of Zack and Cody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and obviously Big Daddy.
Big
as well,
Daddy fame. Yeah.
which is
Just as a little side note, cracking film.
great film. I think the
Very
best
underrated.
Adam Sandler film.
Probably
I would
is,
say.
to be fair. Yeah. Although Blended is very good. If you've seen Blended, Blended's very funny.
Yeah, I've seen. Yeah,
That's
that is a good
really
film.
cool.
Actually, it's funny. He's in this film because obviously in Big Daddy when he's like, oh, what do you even like your name, Julian? What's your name? You go Frankenstein.
Yeah.
So
That's cool.
it's quite funny. To see this.
But yeah, I mean, overall, there's a great list there. There's some great stuff. There is one I just want to mention, which is an animated Lord of the Rings film.
Yep.
Called
Drum roll, please.
War of Rohirrim. War of Rohirrim.
Yeah,
I think.
Rohirrim. I think.
Yeah, I think that's
Rohirrim as Google Translate.
As Google Translate said. Yeah, that looks like a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We've not had a trailer yet, but what I've seen of it looks really cool. I think an animated Lord of the Rings film. I mean, there is an animated Lord of the Rings film already out there, and there's also an animated
classic.
a classic one. There's an animated Hobbit film as well. Both really good.
Yeah.
The Hobbit film's probably better, but the I think that's a story that lends itself really, really well to animation.
Definitely.
And
yeah.
I'm surprised that no companies have really picked up on that more recently. Like, I'm surprised there hasn't been like an animated TV series would be great.
Well, yeah,
Lord of the
even just like a.
I guess we've had obviously the Amazon Prime show.
Yeah, we don't talk about that.
Rings of Power.
Rings of Power. We don't really talk about
Don't
that.
talk about that. Although you've not finished it, have you?
No, it was. I need to finish it. Some of it I like.
You've literally stopped at the best bit. I will just say that.
Okay, I will.
Yeah.
I need to get back into it. I just wasn't really feeling it, to be honest. I was. Yeah, I'll give it a go.
Give it another go. But yeah, I mean, yeah, basically I think this film will be fun. I don't know if it's going to get a cinematic release. Hopefully it will. And hopefully there should be a trailer for it at some point. I think it's out in December, so it kind of fits that Lord of the Rings, Hobbit, December vibe that all the other films have had.
Yeah, which I think always works.
It fits, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
But yeah, I just think it looks like a lot of fun. I think it's just cool. I think it's supposed to be a prequel to Lord of the Rings as well, so it'll be good to get it's a part of the story that's not been explored in a film before, or not fully fleshed out anyway, so it'd be cool to just kind of get something a bit more. Like, I don't know if it's going to be a companion to the actual films we've already had, or whether it will just be a part of its own kind of universe, in that it will be, just telling its own story for something new.
Yeah, maybe they're going to try and flesh out the movies a bit more with some animated kind of side stories and stuff. So yeah,
we'll see. But
yeah, very intrigued.
It could be fun. I mainly think the idea of it sounds really fun.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I'm always down for more Lord of the Rings stuff. So
it'll be cool.
Yeah.
I was going to say, were there just any sort of shows that you were looking forward to this year at all?
Yeah,
any new series of any shows? Or?
So I mean, obviously they've got Wednesday. Season 2. There's a few Netflix ones. Like, is Stranger Things series 5? Is that this year?
I actually don't know. I did actually see an article this morning that said they just started filming the new series. So I don't know if it will be this year.
Okay.
It might be.
I thought they already filmed some of it.
I thought they had as well. I don't know if it was something they've done pickups maybe.
Maybe, because I know they've said they're worried about the kids getting older. It's not no fucking wonder, because you're not
literally spending way too much time.
Yeah, just fucking crack on
get
and
on
film
with it. Yeah.
I think this is this year, but
it might be late this year, maybe early next year.
Okay.
Maybe.
Well, I say one thing that I think is
fun.
this year as well is sort of another addition to the Matt Reeves Batman universe.
Oh my god,
Penguin.
Oh my god,
series with Colin Farrell.
Buzzing for that. That looks amazing.
That's probably my most anticipated show, I think, of this year.
I would say, certainly comic book show anyway.
Yeah.
I think it. I mean, that franchise alone, I could do a podcast about that. Actually, that's an idea. Write that down.
Yeah, we'll do that.
We'll do that at some point. I could talk about that franchise for a long time. I saw the Batman 10 times at the cinema. I fucking love that film. I absolutely love it. It's my favourite comic book. It has beaten Infinity War and Endgame as my favourite.
It might be cool to do it.
Just
a quick side note, we could do something like, talking about that a couple of years on, because obviously it's almost a couple of years since that came out.
Yeah, but it'll be.
Do we still feel the same way about it?
I fucking do.
Yeah, I fucking do.
Watched it over New Year. Fucking phenomenal.
That's that video's taken care of.
Honestly, if it was legal to marry a film, I'd fucking book the church now. Honestly, I love it. Too far?
Yeah, it's a bit weird, but
that's a good film.
But yeah, I think you liked it. I loved
it's
it.
a great.
We all loved it.
I honestly,
it's fucking great.
I love it. But yeah, the Penguin.
Penguin.
Get back to Penguin.
I'm very intrigued by that, and then
Looks
obviously
cool.
getting the Batman Part 2
next October.
Yeah.
I think that
I'm somewhat crazy about that title, but hopefully they'll change it.
I don't mind it. It would make sense if it had a subtitle.
I just like a subtitle. That's my whole thing.
Yeah, could be fun. I think it depends who the villain is. Like if it is Mr. Freeze, Heart of Ice is a great title, or Sub-Zero. But then again, that's too close to the animated show.
Well, I think they've said about it being Clayface and possibly Hush is what I've heard. But Robin's going to be in it as well.
Yeah, I don't know how I feel about Robin being in it, I'll be honest. A part of me thinks it's great, but I also like the idea of him just being on his own for a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know what his Batman would be like with a Robin. But then I guess the end of the film is the whole idea of him now is that he is trying to be a bit of a beacon of hope.
Yeah.
He's not as maybe vicious or, he's not as like much of a threat as he maybe once was. So
that's a good film.
That's a great film, isn't it?
I really want to watch it again now.
He's probably just opened himself up a little bit more to introducing the idea of maybe having like a protege type thing.
Yeah.
So maybe Robin is a possibility. I'd certainly be up for it. It just depends on the story, I think. But
okay. Yeah. Well,
I think it could be cool. But yeah, basically the Penguin, we keep going off on a side note talking about how great the Batman is. It is a fucking great film.
But yeah, Penguin is
I do think the Penguin will be cool, and I think
it'll be on my list.
I wonder if it'll end with him becoming the version of the Penguin that we know, and then maybe the Batman Part 2 he already will be established as like the Kingpin of Gotham.
Yeah.
Because I guess after the fall of Falcone, he kind of wants to rise up and
definitely, yeah.
Yeah. To be honest, I'd love it if he was just a villain. I honestly wouldn't mind if he was the main villain for the next Batman film. I wouldn't mind it. I think I'd like to see someone like Scarecrow or Professor Pig, but I think it would be cool to have this. Just do more with the Penguin. I fucking love the Penguin.
Yeah, I think this is a really solid version of him. And
yeah,
I'm very true. I like that whole kind of underworld of Gotham as well.
Yeah,
like
it fits perfectly.
Yeah,
for Batman, doesn't it?
Yeah, I like them to.
I'm excited.
Well, basically, what I've heard about this is I think it's going to be like kind of like the Godfather, but in the DC universe.
There was a rumor.
There was
a rumor a while ago. I don't know if this is actually going to happen. There's going to be elements that are going to be set during the early days of these characters.
Yeah.
And there was a rumor that Mark Strong was going to be playing a young Falcone.
Oh, okay.
I thought it sounded pretty cool.
Yeah.
Mark Strong's a great actor. Could be fun.
Yeah.
Could be fun. I'm excited for it.
Is he really much younger than?
I don't think he is, which is weird. It's a weird casting.
Yeah, I think he'd be a good Mr. Freeze personally.
Yeah, well, that's what I was going to say. There's not much point.
Yeah, just
making him play a younger version of someone we already know. Yeah, bring him in as
Because I always feel like, because I really like Mark Strong, and I always feel like he's always in, whenever he plays a villain in something, he's always like, obviously he was Sinestro, and he was like Dr. Zivano in Shazam.
Yeah.
And like those movies, obviously, like they don't do well, do they? And I just think there's no
reflection on him,
or like I just think, I think he deserves another chance because I think he's a solid.
He's great in Kingsman.
Solid villain whenever he plays one. I think he's a brilliant actor, and
he's cool.
Kick-Ass as well.
Of course he is. Yeah,
he's in that.
Oh,
he's a great villain. And again, he's sort of a mob boss kind of guy. I think he's really good.
It could be interesting. Yeah. That's a note for Matt Reeves if you're listening. Cast him as Mr. Freeze.
Yep, do that, mate. But I think that's pretty.
I think just quickly before we go, my big show of the year is Doctor Who.
Of course.
That's going to be we've got a big year coming up for Doctor Who.
Going to be an interesting year.
Yeah, it's going to come back in May, hopefully early May. I believe we've got 8 episodes of this new series, and then we'll have a Christmas special at Christmas, believe it or not. I think it could be fun. I'm excited for it.
I think, I mean, again, my feelings on that. I think it could be fun. I hope it's fun, but just keep all the politics shit out of it. Just keep all the agenda stuff that that is sort of being forced into it. Just tell good stories. It's like anything. Just tell good stories. That's all you need to do.
I'm optimistic and I'm excited about what they do. And I can't wait.
Yeah, I am. I'm intrigued, but I'm also quite worried. But anyway,
we'll see.
That's another video.
Sure it'll be good. I'm sure.
I hope it is. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong, Harry. I really do. But anyway, that concludes this little video. Just wanted to say, go for a few choice movies and shows, things we're looking forward to this year.
I think there's some good stuff coming up.
Gonna be another good year for movies. I think
stuff coming up. Yeah.
I think this hopefully could be the year that Marvel get back on track, because
I think so. Yeah. Well, we've got their shows as well. We've got the new series of the animated X-Men show.
Yeah,
coming out.
That's it.
What else have we got? We've we've just had What If Series 2, which I have to say was a lot of fun. I would recommend delving into that. I don't know if you will, but it was good.
Probably not, to be honest. But
fair.
But as I say, I think this will be the year that because they've only got the one film, it's Deadpool, so I think they're going to go back to focus on quality over quantity.
they're doing.
But yeah, so thank you guys so much for checking this video out. Really do appreciate it.
Yeah, it's been fun. And we'll see you again. Or we
I
won't
haven't
see
done
you.
my little outro thing yet.
Ladies and gentlemen, he hasn't done his outro yet.
So thank you guys so much for checking this video out. Really do appreciate it. Obviously, give it a like and all that other crap as
All
well.
that jazz, yeah.
Harry, where can people find you?
They can find me on YouTube under the name The Gallifreyan Knight, where I do things. I do some Doctor Who stuff. I do some Marvel stuff. I do some Star Wars stuff. I do a bit of James Bond stuff. I do a bit of everything. Except I haven't done any cooking stuff yet. So if you want any recipes to see,
maybe don't watch that channel. For
maybe
recipes.
maybe find something else.
Yes, yeah, but there's some great stuff on there. Go check him out.
Yeah,
go and subscribe to him. He's a lovely fella. He does some good stuff.
Wow.
And yeah, obviously if you like, this kind of content as well, give me a cheeky subscribe. Because there's nice things to do.
It's always polite.
Help people out.
Help people out.
Help each other out. That's what we've got to do. But yeah, have a great rest of your day when you happen to be watching this.
Yep, look after yourselves. I hope you have a great tea. Enjoy yourselves.
Yep, and I will see you in the next video.
You will indeed.
Goodbye.
Goodbye now.